9 years I chased Olivia. 9 years, can it be? Dortmund, Kiel, La Paz, La Serena, Fortaleza. Then weeks ago I found myself driving east down Route 522 in the lower part of a state I'd never been to, until it became Ocean Boulevard. At 10 o'clock at night everything was lit up, all the miniature golf courses, the seafood restaurants, the donut shops, the t-shirt stores, Dairy Queen, Sensations, Ronnie's Beach Shack, the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum. Traffic was light. It was 20 degrees outside. I took a right onto 3rd Street and cruised through a scruffy, quiet, sandy neighborhood 6 blocks from the beach. Crooked houses with names like Sea Swept, Starfish Cove, August House. Rooms with kitchenettes available by the week. See you next May. I parked the car and texted Binky I was here, and he answered in 5 seconds. I walked to 6th Street and got inside his pickup truck. For the last time, I said, "How do you know it's her?" And he said she hadn't moved from the house in 2 days and 2 nights. Who else would she be? The information was reliable. He'd slept maybe 6 hours in all that time. From that moment on, we would each do a shift. The spot that Binky had chosen was a clever one, screened in 2 directions by trees, and a trailer park beside the neighborhood. I sent him off to go eat pancakes and check into the Spindrift Inn, $44 a night, and had pulled into the space 10 minutes after he left. And I watched the house, and watched it for 11 hours. Olivia did not come out. When my shift was over, I walked the boardwalk, watched the people who still found something beautiful here in wintertime. I drifted through the souvenir shops that had stayed open, and I ate pizza. But I never stayed out for more than 2 hours, and never at night. At night, I parked on Cross Keys Street and watched what I could of the house from the other side of it. Twice the lights went on late at night, and Binky and I talked over the radio, ready to move. But we didn't have to. On the 3rd night, Binky called me and told me she was leaving the house. Right through the front door she went, and went on foot down 6th Street toward the west end of town. She wore a baggy t-shirt and old jeans. I started the car and looped around toward Jones Avenue and parked the car about a mile down, and I waited. Against my wishes, Binky set out on foot, all 300 pounds of him. I told him that if he got closer than 3 blocks, she would know, and he told me not to worry. There was only so much we could do. But then Binky saw her. She'd gone north. He told me she was walking across a park, some connected athletic fields that served the year-round residents. I told him to not even update me until something actually happened. 20 minutes went by. Every 3 minutes or so he would tap his handset, just to let me know he was still there, and nothing had changed. At 1:15 he said there was someone else in the park, and she was slowly walking toward him. "Let her go," I said. "You can't get any closer. This is how we'll find out if it's her." "Some man walking his dog," he said, but he could barely see. They were both so far away now. Finally, I told him to just walk away, leave, go back to the house. "You want me to break in, look around?" he said, but no. She was more clever than that. She would have a fake ID under the name of the supposed renter and leave evidence of a normal vacationer. We'd find out nothing. We saw her return 2 hours later, both of us sitting in his pickup truck. Her hair was blonde, done up in a ponytail. The body didn't seem right somehow. I had a bad feeling. Binky had a police scanner, and at a little past 5 came the chatter we were waiting for. They'd found a body. That was all we needed. It was the first homicide in Brevard Beach in 14 years. Adrenaline surged through me. Binky just stared into space, scratching his huge beard with both hands, contemplating. All we needed was time to wait her out. The next time she left that house would be the last time. 4 days, 4 long days. I watched the house, drank at the Green Turtle, slept at the Budget Inn near Captain D's, ate subs from Mario's Snack Shack, walked the boardwalk back and forth, rode the Ferris wheel once it was still open, looked down on the town to see if I could see 6th Street. Couldn't, though. It was on the night I got drunk that she emerged again. Stupid. Stupid. So drunk I blacked out. So drunk I fell asleep against the side of a beach umbrella rental hut, abandoned since September, right out there on the sand. A remorseful, suicidal binge. The crackling of the radio woke me up. Jesus Christ, Binky was saying, where are you? She's moving. He was on Haven Avenue watching her through binoculars as she walked onto the beach at 5:51 a.m. I looked off to my left. It was still full dark. The cheap hotels were lit up and glowing all along the boardwalk behind me. I staggered to my feet and told Binky that if she went south, I would be waiting for her. He asked me if I would be ready, and I told him yes. I had what I needed. I always had what I needed. I moved around to the other side of the shack, screened off from view. God, it was cold. I peered around it and looked at the waves crashing on the beach. Yes, she was smart. The lights didn't reach that far, and everything from the boardwalk would just seem a field of black until dawn. Binky radioed me that she was going south. I was 8 blocks away. She had maybe 45 minutes before she'd have to be back in the house. What's she doing? I asked him. And Binky said, I think she's just watching the waves. She eventually got to me and moved beyond me. Her hair was untied now. She faced the ocean as she walked, careful not to get too close to the surf. No coat. When a tiny sliver of blue cracked the sky, I shut off my radio and left my spot. I was going to end everything now, one way or another. And it really was sadness I felt as I walked across the sand, trailing her, because she didn't know I was there. She should have known, but she didn't. And that meant she was almost done. She had very little left of what she was. The fact that she was out this late, that's what made it so obvious. Soon there was just enough gray light on the beach to make out the back of her t-shirt. Hammerhead Seafood, it said. Best lobster at the beach. She wouldn't have eaten there. Before Binky had arrived in town, she must have bought that shirt from the gift shop, just to have it. On some night when she'd gone walking down the boardwalk past the arcade and the old-time photos booth and Dippin' Dots. Even when I began to run, she didn't turn. I was within 5 steps of her when she finally did. A look on her face, not of surprise, but of mild curiosity. When I slammed into her, I caught a whiff of her perfume. I spent weeks trying to find out what it was as that memory faded. Princess by Vera Wang. She crashed to the sand, facing upwards, exactly as I needed her to be. And I fell on top of her. And I had the stake out in half a second. and I raised it high above my head, and she thrust her hands up, breaking my nose as she snarled. But every bit of my strength was with me, and the stake came down exactly twice, ending a story that maybe one day I'll tell at the bar during happy hour at Pirate's Launch on 9th Street. Painfully drunk, sunburned, wearing sandals and shorts in the heat. A beach bum, still pining for a tall blonde who broke his mortal heart from afar long ago. But finally got what she deserved.